So I think we're live. Let me check. Yes, we are.
Alrighty.
Okay. Hey, everyone. So thanks to everyone for joining this live stream. We just thought it would be a cool idea for you to have the chance to directly ask us some stuff. Some of you already sent some questions in the post, and of course you can feel free to just ask us anything here in the live chat, anything that you want to know, that you always wanted to know. And yeah, we try to answer it as best, as good as we can. Hey, Catherine, hi. So I think we can just start with the questions that you asked us on Facebook and Instagram. And I have one question here from BlackTrip77. He's asking, so did King Apathy split up and the guys joined Eklatanz and Heretoir, or were they already playing in Heretoir and just decided to disband the King Apathy projects? I think that's a question for you because you've been with King Apathy. Maybe you can say something about it.
Yes. All right. Hi, also from Hamburg. As some of you might know, I was the singer in Tränenkind or later King Apathy, and I played also drums on a few albums. So I joined Heratoire in 2017, but I already played drums on Substanz. I think we recorded this in 2011.
2011, yes.
Yeah, I think so. So we all met when I was playing with my old band Fäulnis at a festival where the Heratoire guys were also playing. We met and then decided that we want to do some music together in the future, maybe. And Matti, our bass player, Nathanael, he's the founder of Tränenkind or later King Apathy. And it was more like a coincidence that he asked me if I could ask the singer of my old hardcore band to sing what ended up to be the Elk, the Tränenkind album. But I knew that this guy wasn't able to do this time-wise, so I just said, let me try out, maybe I can do something. And then I just recorded 2 tracks, he liked it, and yeah, so I ended up playing in that band. And Max, our guitar player, was also a good friend of Matti and also of Dave, and so he was asked to play in Tränenkind or later King Apathy as well. But back to the question, no, we did not disband and then went over to play with Heretoir. Max and Nathanael have been in Heretoir for, I think, more or less since the start of the band playing live,
right,
at least maybe even earlier with Nathanael. And it was just that the time for us as a band in King Apathy was right to end it. We did one last album and we had a perfect tour with Clear Cut and our dear friends in The Secret Revealed. And
shout out.
Then it was, shout out to the guys. Lucas, the guitar player, just helped us out on stage at the Easter Metal Meeting.
Great
such
show.
A great guitar player and such a lovely person.
Yeah.
So to make it short, we just thought the band was done with what we wanted to say with the band, and then we decided to disband. And but we're all still playing in Heretoir, so that's basically it.
Yeah, cool. I just saw that so many people from different places are joining us here, from Atlanta, from Belgium, from Italy, from Mexico. Hi to y'all. So cool that you're here in the stream. Nice to have you all here.
Yeah, that's good information for me because I have a different screen than David has, and I have no idea. To me, it looks as no one is there. I can't see the chat and everything. So David has to walk us through this evening a bit.
Yes. I think we can maybe go through the questions like in switch through questions that have already been posted and questions that people are asking in the live chat, so they don't have to wait that long. So I see a question here from Ulfor Mika. After the South American tour, do you have plans for North America? Actually, of course, we would love to come to America. As we all know, it's not that easy most of the time to get all the visas done, to get everything prepared in time. And there are many examples of bands trying to get over and failing. So you really have to prepare very well for that. And of course, everything has to be well thought through. So in general, we want to come, of course, but we'll have to see when the right time for that is. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you can, just have a look at the tour dates of our friends in Harakiri for the Sky and Ghost Path. They're touring the US at the moment together, and both bands, awesome people and really, really, really good bands, cool shows, awesome live experiences. I can tell.
Exactly. Yeah. Then we have another question from I can't pronounce this. Jalma Franca, I think. Yeah. And he asks, what do you feel when you listen to your own records? I think it differs for both of us, so maybe we both answer this. For me, I'm kind of going through the emotions that I had when I wrote the songs, or when I wrote the songs, I just go through that again. Most of the time when I listen to those songs, I get back to those feelings, and sometimes I can just listen to it. It just, not that much happens, but sometimes it really hits that nerve, exactly this nerve that I had when writing the song, and it's getting deep and might move me very much because it has to come from somewhere when I'm writing. Yeah, I don't know what is it like for you, Nils?
Yeah, to me, it is
Yes, man.
not really easy to answer that question because it has different sides to me. The one side is when I listen to the songs that I didn't record or that were recorded when I wasn't a part of the band. I have strong emotions to the songs that we play live, especially in the live setting. But I have a way, I think this is understandable, a way stronger connection to the newer songs that we just recorded or as Anima and Wastelands just released. Of course, it's a deeper connection to the music that you are part of. But as I play some of the songs live for many years now, especially those of the first album, where when it was released, I didn't really know about the band at all. But over playing them live, especially Heretoir and Graue Bauten, those two songs really, really, really hit me hard when it comes to the emotional connection, because we played it in so many different places with so many different people, and it's really, really nice. And especially when I hear and see Dave on stage performing, because he has so much heart and soul into his singing, especially his voice, and you really feel that what he just said is true. If you go to a show of ours and just feel what he feels, it's intense, even for me, sitting behind the drums and trying to be super concentrated and focused to play properly.
Yeah. Same for me. I mean, we both do fuck up sometimes. Like, everyone in the band does, because you're just in the zone and
I never
feeling it, and things happen. But I also see it as a very huge thing that people come to the shows and they, like, feel what you're feeling. Kind of, they give you the feedback that they understand what you're trying to say. Yeah.
I think maybe there was a question on Instagram by David Miller Photo, and I think we can answer this pretty quickly because I already did it a bit. He asked, who recorded drums on your latest single? Sounds awesome. Thank you, David. That was me. I recorded the songs, and also as I said, I recorded Substanz way back, but I think there is a different way in my performance nowadays, and I think Substanz was cool for what I was able to play back then, but I'm I'm pretty happy with what I did on the Wastelands mini album.
Then we have a question. Let me look. A question of Ezekiel Godwin. Who are some of your major influences? I think it also differs again for both of us. We might have some common ones, but for me, yeah, I mean, it's kind of. I started listening. Like, I have to start at a point way further back in time. I started listening to black metal, and I was like, I don't know how old was, 21 or something like that, 20, 21. And the first band actually that got me into black metal was Endstille. Kieler friends up from Kiel in Germany. And yeah, they kind of paved the way for everything that came, all the bands that I listened to. And then at some point I got in touch with, like, we all used MySpace back then, I think. Found new music and stuff, and I found a band called Liam from Germany, which is the band of Markus Siegenholt from Landlos. And through that, I got in this kind of post thing, and I got in touch with him as well, and was writing a lot, and I got to know Landlos and Alcest and everything. And when I got to know Alcest, I think apparently that was a big thing for me. Souvenirs d'un autre monde was a great, like, phenomenal album. And yeah, I think that was that changed a lot. And but it's not the only influence, but Alcest, of course, made me dive deeper into this realm of black metal mixed with a lot of different things, and not being like put into a cage, you could say, of traditional black metal. And recently, in the last years, I got to know through Matti, our bass player. I got to know Architects, and I don't really have to say that I like their new stuff that much, but especially Lost Together, Lost Forever, and All Our Gods Have Abandoned Us. Those are albums that really helped me vocally. Like, I really got to improve my vocals through that, and yeah, this whole belting, screaming, like this mixture, this Linkin Parkish way of singing, really influenced me. Yeah. And other than that, well, there are a couple of bands, but those two, I think they made the most impact on me musically.
Yeah, to me, this is pretty difficult to answer. Apart from having some of the same bands as David just meant, Endstille wasn't the first black metal band that I heard, but it was the first black metal band that really got me into the genre. I think I was 16 or something when a friend of mine gave me their Frühlingserwachen album, and I mean, I come like a few kilometers from Kiel, so it was a local band and insane drumming. But before that, I was listening to Dimmu Borgir, like the Stormblast stuff, and Amorphis, Tales from a Thousand Lakes. My brother had that kind of music at home. So that was a bit where those darker, more melancholic things came from. Also, Empyreum, huge influence on me when I was younger. When it comes to being a drummer, I kind of started because of the movie Wayne's World, when Garth is in the music store and plays the drum solo. Yeah, it's funny. And also Lars Ulrich by Metallica, because I was a big Metallica fan when I was really young. But who really had an impact on my playing, I would say Nico McBrain by Iron Maiden. Also George of Propagandy. Not so much that I play as him, or that I just looked after some things that he did, but just the way that he plays so away, or like so different than most drummers I know. And yeah, this is insane how you can use the drum to make the song sound differently. of course, Travis Barker is an insanely talented drummer who has the ability to play technically pretty well, but always has the song in his mind. And I think this is some stuff that I really liked, or that really influenced me. And of course, when I was younger and was really into all that blast beat stuff, I think Derek Roddy was one of the craziest drummers back then. Yeah, I think that was something that or some drummers that really influenced me.
Cool. People are joining more and more.
Nice. Hello.
Hello. I'm not sure. Let me have a look. Let's go to another question that's in the social media channels, and then we're gonna always switch between your live questions and the questions that already have been asked in the post. So here's a pretty long one from Adrilox33, and he's saying, I know this is going to be a deeper question on deeper level in the realm of mental health. Who wrote the lyrics and music for the self-titled track Heretoir? And what were some of the triggering emotions and factors of that particular track being created? I ask because that track alone is the heartbeat of my neglected inner child screaming, crying to be accepted in a world where my black body is already sentenced. Wow. I have to say, like back then in 2000, like, first of all, thank you for that question and being that open in that question. That album was released in 2011. So that was a time, like the years before, where it was still like it was developing into a band, and I was like still with, like, Matti was already in the band. But the songs had been written before, so I wrote the lyrics and the song. And yeah, it's a hard question with the triggering emotions. I think that song, that self-titled song Heretoir, I think it just combines everything that you could call Heretoir in one song, for me at least. And we love to play this song live. It has like the calm moments, it has the outbursts, it has screams, it has clear vocals, and like lyrically, I mean this album is about loss. It's about stages of loss to cope with the loss of a person. So it's pretty personal to me as well. And this is kind of the moment where the person that has experienced the loss frees everything, like swallowed by an endless dawn. Like it's just screams everything out and just kind of deals with the fact that the person is gone. And that's kind of what is in the lyrics as well. I think that's the best way I can answer it, because it was a while ago. It's like 12 years ago or even more when I wrote the song. Yeah.
Thank you for opening up to us.
Yeah.
And,
I think he even posted a second question. Maybe we can also answer that, because I think let me look, he also asked something. I thought that he asked the second thing. I don't find it right now. I think it has something to do with how is it to be like with the biracial thing and where my roots are. I think my roots are like I'm half German, half African American, and but I grew up in Germany, so I don't have that deeper connection to the African American side, like the experience to grow up in America. But I'm quite lucky when it comes to experience, because you said in your question, the black body is already sentenced in this world. I think I might have been lucky that I didn't experience like racial prejudice that much. I had my things in school and stuff, but I think, of course, it's a problem. It's a big problem. I think it might be even a way bigger problem in the States than here in Germany. I don't know, but growing up as a mixed person, I think I was lucky. I got quite well accepted here, and I can't say that about being in the black metal scene. in the beginning, I had my experiences, I could say, but in the end, I didn't give a fuck. I was just like, I do my music, and I don't know, didn't give too much about the opinions of those people. Yeah. So the next question, I have to move through a lot of messages here and comments on the right side. Let me see. Can you see them, Nils? I'm not sure. We just
No.
check out. You can't see them
No,
at the
you're
very
at
top.
work, and I
Okay.
can only see those on Instagram. And I mean, I can maybe as you're looking. There is Cult Pains asking on Insta genres you like that aren't metal. There are no genres outside of heavy metal, and the question itself is blasphemy, my friend. No, I'm just kidding. So I grew up with a lot of those 90s fat wreck punk bands like Lagwagon, NoFX, Propaganda, and all that stuff. I really I am a fan of that kind of music. I had a few years where I was a bit into rap and hip hop, but that kind of stopped a few years ago. And I gotta say, I pretty much I totally went back to listening most of the time to all sorts of different metal. But I mean, generally speaking, I think I would say that I usually like darker and melancholic or even sad music. I think that's
double that.
It's not often that I listen to happy music. I mean, there are some bands like Nestor, this new AOR 80s hard rock band from Sweden or Europe or all that stuff. I have a tendency to like those bands, and they are more happy, but they also sometimes have like this nuance of melancholy in it, and I kind of prefer that. I think Tiger Lou is, for example, an indie band that I totally love, or Modest Mouse, some indie stuff, Weaker Dance. That's not something that I kind of like, but most of the time I'm pretty much a metalhead, I'd say.
Yeah. For me, it's kind of, I'm pretty open when it comes to music. For me, it has to have two things: honesty, like to be authentic, and it has to be there has to be some emotion triggers, like, and atmosphere. That's like 3 points. So I don't really care about the fact if it's metal, if it's hip hop, if it's electronic music, if it's soundtracks, whatever. I listen to all kind of stuff that hits me emotionally. So I don't like the only music that I don't like that is like that is false, like that is pretending to be something that it's not. And yeah, if those 3 points that I mentioned are triggered for me, that's, I might like any song. I might like I listen to, I don't know, like when you take a look at our Spotify playlists, like there's this playlist of Nils and a playlist of me. Of course, there are a lot of metal tracks in there, at least for me. I mean, you have a very long playlist. I can look through everything so far.
Yes.
But yeah, check out those playlists to see what you're listening to. Mostly, I think I have to maybe update mine a bit because I'm listening to some other stuff, have some other recommendations there. But really, I like to listen to all kinds of stuff. I mean, I have to even say there's one band that I really love. You might surprise some of you. I love Coldplay. Like I love the old, like especially the old Coldplay stuff. Same as for Architects. The newer stuff is not my cup of tea. But yeah, like bands like that, and like electronic stuff like M83, soundtrack stuff. Yeah, I mean, just take a look into the playlists. I think that's the best recommendation I can give, so you get a picture.
Are you
Um,
prepared with another question, or shall I look over on Instagram to see?
yeah, we're going through the Instagram questions now, so we're gonna hop to Facebook questions pretty soon for everyone that's waiting for that.
Yes.
Where have we got? Yeah, will you do gigs with the new EP, or is an extended tour? In brackets, I don't care where you go as long as Leipzig is on the menu. We're gonna will we is an extended tour gonna have to wait for an LP? Good luck. You can see in our header on the page that we have a couple of shows coming up. Couple of Schrödi.
Yeah,
You gotta introduce him. You gotta introduce him.
Yeah, that's my dog. Very old Dachshund Schröder. He's a bit annoying when he's on the floor. But he's also annoying when he's not on the floor. So I think I'm going to bring him to the other room soon. I don't know.
Yeah. And getting back to the question, like I said, we have a couple of festivals coming up, and we indeed have plans to tour. Like, you will hear more about that in closer future, but I can't say any more than that right now, I think. The next question on Instagram is like the same, on the same topic. It says Heretoir when by Alpha Presents. That would be really the best name for a tour for us. Heretoir. We have to do that at some point, definitely. But like I said, touring. We have some plans, and we'll let you know pretty soon. Yeah. So maybe another question from the chat. Scrolling to infinity.
Switch on the light here.
Let me see. A question from Marcus Nietzsche. How are the chances that you're going to play Partisan? He saw us with Latest Grey in Nuremberg. Greetings from Franconia. Thanks a lot.
So we want to play Partisan. If you have any contacts there, pressure them to book us, because
exactly.
Matti and I will be there. We went last year. I played 2015, I think, with my old band, and since that I really love the festival. I really want to play there. But let's see. The band was a bit inactive the last years. We had a global pandemic. Don't know if you guys noticed that. Just kidding. So we're getting more active. So also the booking will be more active, and we will definitely try to play Partisan. We would love to, but especially with like, I would say, a more like nerdy festival as Partisan, they really have to want us to play. It's not that it's a bit, they have to like the new stuff, and they have to want us to play, and then hopefully the chances are there.
I have to hop into that question as well, because in general, many of you always ask, can you play here? Do you come there? It's all of course a question of people wanting to see us there. So if you want to see us in your city at this festival or anything, just tell the promoters, let them know that you want to see us, because otherwise they're not gonna book us, because maybe there's so many bands out there that they can choose from, and it's all about people wanting to see bands.
In general, it helps the bands that you like a lot if you I don't know, if Summer Breeze asks who you want to see, just comment there, or just make sure, if you know promoters, just tell them, hey, this is a cool band, check them out, maybe they can play here. So this helps all the bands that you like a lot.
Exactly.
The word gets out.
Yeah. Then we have another question. How do you, from Bart's Blast Beat? He asks, how do you write your songs? Are they written by a single person or by the whole band? So, important thing, in the first album, this band used to be a one-man project, and it developed into a band, and today we are writing songs as a band. We have two main songwriters now, which is Matthias and me, and we just throw ideas in there and just create songs out of that. And I think it was a process throughout the last years to transform into that. And I think it was a really, really cool thing. And you're gonna hear it in the future, the outcome of everything. And that's like, you can add something to that.
There's not much to add other than we now are in a proper band situation. Even when I joined the band, the Circle was just released or was just about to be released. So our good friend and insanely talented drummer Tobias from the Weg in der Freiheit played the drums on that album. But now we're in a position where we throw ideas together and where I can really work on the drums that I want to have on the album. And then usually the song ideas are like Matthias and David write the songs with some programmed drums, but there's still a lot of freedom for me to really write my own stuff on it. But I gotta say, they usually are pretty good in creating fitting drum patterns for their songs. So it's not. Luckily, we are not a band that has this cliche of guitar players, or maybe we had this like years ago where the guitar players program drums that only an octopus could play. But yeah, I mean, we have the two songs out now that are done in the more band way, and a lot of the stuff that will come out in the nearer future will show you how we work these days.
Yeah. Okay, then sorry for everyone on Facebook that is like waiting for that questions to be answered. Maybe we would just let's go. I think there's like just 3 questions or something left from Instagram. We'll just go through them. EM Kefa is asking, have you felt a shift in your music style throughout the years? First album compared to latest. How have you guys grown as a band over time? I think we definitely have felt a shift. Like I can only speak for myself here, but going from that first album that was so full of despair and sadness, sadness was still there on the Circle, but the topic was a completely different one. And the topic of loss on the first album, on the Circle, it was like more about the cycle of life, the circle of life, yeah, just as the name of the album says. And I think we got more like you like to experiment. You like to not repeat yourself over and over again and try new things. I tried new things vocally. I tried new things in the songwriting. I tried to get more modern influences in there, but still kind of stay true to what was laid down with the first album. So, but still, I think everyone noticed that there was a shift. And compared to today with Wastelands, I think this is a different side again of us, especially as a whole band. The first time as a record that we really wrote as a band and performed as a band. Yeah.
I think knowing what is coming in the future, I think the band is going in a direction that kind of feels natural if you take the first album and the Circle. It's not that we only go like that one direction further and further and develop into a more, I don't know, more band that only writes songs that sound like the Circle. I think we also didn't lose the connection to black metal or like post black metal or whatever you call this kind of genre. So I think that's pretty important for us to also show in the future that both sides are still in the band. That's also why we kind of refuse to throw out the old songs of the set. I mean, first album was released in 11, right? 2011,
Yeah,
I
first
think.
almost.
So
Yeah.
they're pretty old songs, but we usually we play Graubauten and Heretoir on nearly every song, and now we just put Fatigue back in the set. We don't know how long the songs stay in the set. We always switch around a bit, but so we still feel connected to both sides, or like all sides of the band. And
Yes.
I think the band is has a pretty productive and creative run over the last few years.
Yes.
You can say,
There
and
was
yeah.
there was a lot happening behind the scenes that you, of course, didn't maybe get to see, and all of this is coming now and in the following years. So we didn't just sit there and do nothing.
Yeah.
And one thing that is important for me to say also is that you can never put us in a box. Like if you expect something to happen like musically from us, just don't expect it. Just see what comes. You like it or you don't like it, but I think that's like an important thing for every artist to just do what he feels like doing, and then the music just comes out of here. So it's not gonna always be the same. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I think we sometimes like to explore different approaches on writing songs, and I think that's also what makes being in that band and creating that new songs, or in general creating songs with the band, pretty interesting. It's not that it's always the same way, especially now that we all decided that Matthias should also be a part of the songwriting team, and that everyone else should be more connected with the band. So for example, I came up with a first vocal melody of Wastelands.
Yes, you
That
did. That's
I'd
thanks
never
to.
done before. But David, I mean, he's the real singer. I might come up with a good melody, but he is the one who can sing it, and he's the one who really transforms the idea into something brilliant and something that you really want to hear.
Thanks.
So I think that's pretty cool and pretty different from also the circle era that the songs are going through more heads until you really gonna hear them.
Yeah. And the good thing is, as a band, I mean, I tend to like people that keep asking why the time between albums took so long. I think that's another question, but I'm coming up with this question myself now. But just because we're in this right now, talking about this, because of course of the life situations, that's the one thing, but also because I'm a pretty really perfectionist person. And with everyone in the band also stepping in the songwriting process, it's a good thing because it's not gonna take me forever just to finish a song, or Mati steps in and we just finish something and everything. So it's not gonna take that long anymore. Yes. So let's take another question from the chat. Wow, there's a lot of comments. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, folks, for all of those questions and comments. I think
it's so cool that, I mean, I don't know how many people are there because I don't
it's
see
34 people showing right now. Yeah,
nice.
35.
Yeah, cool. And
it keeps growing.
It's the first time that we did that. So thank you all for taking your time to listen to what the two of us have to say.
Exactly. Thanks a lot, and from all over the world. It's crazy.
Cool.
So there are so sorry. I'm just trying to go through here and see. Okay. Yeah, important question. I think everyone wants to know from Roger Moreno. One question: new album. What your general? I think what he means is when can we expect? I think you're not talking about Wastelands. Apparently, it's out on the 19th of May. Maybe you want to start with that, Nils?
Yeah, I mean, it's what I can tell you is that you won't have to wait very long until a new album comes out. I think that's what our label wants me to say.
Exactly.
So seriously, guys, a new album is already in the pressing plant, and that's it. I can't give you a release date now, but it will come out, and you will get an album sooner than later.
Yes,
Thank you
exactly.
for waiting all that time and not going away. So
Especially, we said the last time, we said it won't take another 6 years, and here we are again after 6 years. But
yes,
we have
that's
a
it.
lot, and we have a lot to coming. So yeah, it's going to be worth it.
Yeah.
Then we have another question here in Instagram. Who and what inspired you to perform black metal and the black gaze genre? I think we kind of had that question already. So once again, short version, Alcest. Yeah, yeah.
Alcest and Endstille, more or less.
Alcest and Endstille, yeah, exactly. From my side, yeah. You also answered the drum recording question, and then fave bands from Weltenbrand.
Oh, yes. Best band in the whole world to me is Propagandy. The first album is not really good, but the second they start to be a very good band, and from the third album on there, to me, seriously the best band in the world. Supporting cast is the perfect album overall. It's perfect. I'm a really, 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 really huge Iron Maiden fan. Totally into Halloween, the old Halloween stuff. I mean, I already said a few of the '90s bands that I grew up. I mean, also bands like Killswitch Engage and In Flames were really important to me while being a teenager. But I would say Tiger Lou. If I have to say three bands: Propagandy, Iron Maiden, and Tiger Lou, maybe. But that's pretty hard to say. But I really am a person who's totally into reading magazines and learning about new bands, and I just got to know Kerem of Imatarikat. I have a shirt. He sent me a package
Great
with
band.
vinyl and shirts, and such a good album. The latest Imatarikat record is insane, and it's so special to me. Also, The Night Eternal is such a good band.
Yes.
I mean, there are so many good bands. Outlaw, I just went to a show seeing Outlaw in Hamburg, and it was so good. Yeah, I mean, there are so many good bands, but yeah, those are bands you should definitely check out.
Yeah, I'm thinking all the time what I'm actually listening to. I'm always listening to old stuff that I used to like. It's really hard for me right now to like actually name because I don't keep discovering that much. To be honest.
Katatonia, I forgot Katatonia. Sorry, Katatonia. What's going on in my head?
I can second that. Thanks for giving me the first band on my list, Katatonia, of course. I don't really know. Like, let me think. Like, I also already mentioned Alcest. I already mentioned and Schiller. I already mentioned Architects. Actually, yeah, I'm kind of I listen like at the moment I listen to a lot of modern stuff, and through that I got to know Spirit Box. Might not be everyone's of everyone's taste, but I just like the mixture of the heaviness and the vocals and the atmosphere that they create as well. And let me think. Yeah, I got to know Sleep Token as well. Like I think he's talking about fave bands like in general, but I'm right now twisting the question towards what I'm listening to right now. Sleep Token. I don't know. Do you know Sleep Token, Nils? Have you heard of them?
I heard of them, but
It's not
I
your
think
style.
no, it's not my cup of tea. But to be honest, I haven't really listened to it properly. I heard
Okay.
one song or two. But a few people told me I should check them out. But
I think it's really it's pretty unique in its way, like mixing that kind of, even we could even say R&B voice with metal.
Okay,
and
yeah,
I think it's something unique.
Gotta check them out.
Yeah, I think it just kind of got stuck with me, and I kind of wanted to listen again, and I like the guy's voice a lot, and I think they're creating a mysticism around the band because of all of their masks and everything. So everyone wants to know who the singer is. Yeah, that stuff. Yeah. And other than that, Faith Benz, yeah, I mean, my very first artist that that got me into performing music at all, or like loving music, I have to say, was Michael Jackson. Whatever might have happened or might have not happened, let's not open this discussion right now, but musically, he got me. Like he was still like on the very top of my fave artists. Yeah. What else do we have? So now we're through on Instagram, so we can jump to the Facebook questions. And let me start there. So the first question there is from Tertius Spengler, and he's asking, will you guys ever tour South Africa? I mean, we would love to go anywhere and play for you guys. I think South Africa, of course, is a rather special place for tours. But never say never. I don't know. Like, let's see. If you know any promoters in your area, let them know. Gather all of your friends that might like the band and tell them.
Yeah.
And I think he also is here in the chat, and he also had another question, so maybe we just answer that as well. He asked, he says, I also want to ask, The Circle is probably one of the best thematic albums I have heard. Thank you a lot. The name of the album is complemented by the songs. To me, it's like the phases of an individual's life, the good and the bad, and it's like a repeating pattern. How do you guys perceive the concept of that album? It's just that it's put together so well. I love Fading with the Gray. First of all, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for that comment.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
Yeah. I think you got everything right. I think I would definitely just put my signature on what you wrote, because it's what it was supposed to be. Like I wouldn't even say a person. Yeah, like an individual, a being thrown into the world with the white. And like you said, going through that experiencing the craziness of this world, the good feelings and the bad feelings, just like as you wrote, and going through its life and with the ups and downs, and that's generally what we want to do with our music, just to kind of reflect the lives of everyone that's here right now. You know, like everything that you go through on a daily basis. It's just what we want to kind of reflect in the music that we do. That's what I can say for me writing some of the stuff. And I don't know if you want to say something as well to that question.
I mean, the only thing that I really contributed to The Circle was singing a part on Inhale. So I can't really say that much, and I think you really answered that question.
Yeah.
I have to take care of the dog for just a second. I will be back in a few seconds, but you can, can talk to everyone. See you in a bit.
Yeah, guys. So then let me have another look through the chat. So maybe I just go through the chat questions now. So we have another question from Hard Drive Productions. Hey there. If you don't know Hard Drive Productions, they did 2 videos, or even 3, no, even more, like our current live videos for Golden Dust and Graubauten that we posted. He edited those videos, and the white video and the Golden Dust video. He shot those and edited those. So shout out to Art Drive Productions. And he asks, "Hey guys, what was the worst sleeping accommodation situation you had during a tour or a gig?" That's a good question. I have to really think because I have quite a couple of shows played. I think it even was when we had our very first show. It was not a bad accommodation, but it was a very weird situation. Ah, there you are again. I don't know if you heard the question.
No.
The question was from Hard Drive Productions. He's there, and he put a question in the comments. What was our worst sleeping accommodation situation we had during a tour?
Oh,
I just wanted to go to a
lot
funny
of stories.
Yeah. Then you answer that
No,
because
no,
I think
you can start and I can tell the funny stories.
the funny thing was just it was a rather funny thing, not really about a bad situation, because I can't really remember having a super bad sleeping situation anywhere. I always got some sleep. I never slept on the streets or anything because I didn't get an accommodation or anything or
I did.
whatever. Okay. My funny story is from that night when we got to get to know you, Nils. The first gig we did with Heretoir in Oberhausen. Was it Oberhausen? No, Essen. Sorry, Essen. It was Essen. And we got to know, I got to know the Fäulnis guys. And the singer, we actually had a really good time and just stayed at the venue. And then we were supposed to go to our accommodation. I think we just rang at some random doorbell because we thought we were sleeping there. And then we went to another wrong one or something. And then actually we found our accommodation. And it took us quite a while to get there because we didn't know where to go. But that's like rather a funny story. Let us know your bad sleeping on the street story.
I mean, the sleeping on the street story is So I was on tour with my old band Office, and we had like the craziest tour schedule. I think we went to 12 countries in 11 days or so, and we had a show in Helsinki, and it was an after show party from this, what's the name of this big festival? I forgot. There is a big metal festival in Finland, like Wacken in Germany or so, and we started the show around 1:30 at night or so. And then the tour manager said, we don't need accommodation because we can sleep on the ferry. We went from Helsinki to Turku and arrived there, I don't know, at 4 or something in the morning. And I was so wrecked because I was driving the van. And then we saw a car crash, and we had to help a woman that was completely, that just came out of the crashed car, and it was super weird and everything was completely chaotic. I was completely overslept, and someone came and took her. But then we arrived at the ferry port, or however you call that stuff. But we had like 3 or 4 hours to wait until then I just grabbed my sleeping bag and just lay on the street and tried to sleep there because I was so wasted. But Dave, don't you recall some of the very nice sleeping places that we had on that UK tour?
Yes, I recall. I didn't want to say it.
That studio, and it was in, I don't know, in December or
You're
November
right.
in UK, and we slept in some I don't know, it was like 0 degrees or so in that building. There was a recording studio and also some rehearsal spaces, and we slept. It was so cold.
I remember. I think I just put that back somewhere. I didn't want to take it out of my mind. Now that you said it, I was sleeping on the couch and I was freezing my ass off.
Right. I was sleeping in that rehearsal room. I mean, generally speaking, I did a lot of DIY tours, going in a van, driving, sleeping at some places. I remember when I was touring with a punk band, the guitar player and I really went to a bar and asked people if we could sleep there. And then we met a super nice couple, and they took us with them home, and we slept there because there was no other sleeping place. I don't know what we would have done if it wasn't for them. But I mean, yeah, we played lots of squats. Usually it was super cool, but sometimes I think one of the worst things was in Berlin at a big squat. It was okay, but I mean there were beds and stuff, but it was at the attic of that house, and it has, I don't know, the roof is 5 or 6 meters high, and it was also in January or February. It was freezing cold, and one of the guys that we were touring with was snoring so loud, and I was really trying to wake him up, but it was not possible. And then I grabbed this mattress, and I mean the room was freezing cold and really, really big. And then I went to, I don't know, like 50 meters or so on that attic. And the other, yeah, I mean, but,
there are a couple of those stories.
Yeah.
I think that answers the question pretty well.
Heavy metal hotel.
Heavy metal. Yeah. Then let's go back to Facebook. Then we have a question from Catherine STA. I think she's also in the chat right now. She's asking, when will you come to Quebec, and where do you take your inspiration for the songs? First of all, Quebec, I think that is like, you can answer this like the North America question. I think it's going to be, I'm not sure about, how the, like, Quebec, I think I can't say too much right now. We want to play as much as possible and the furthest places as possible. But I think it just needs to be the right time for it, and a lot of preparation, as I said. And when we come over, of course, we want to play as much as possible. And I think I can't really say much about it right now because we're trying to get stuff arranged, and I know that there are a couple of people that want us to come over, and we're just trying our best with our booking and everything to get this realized. Okay, now Nils is gone. He'll be back in a second. Then I'm sorry if I always take quite a while to go through the questions, but there's a lot of comments. Let me look. Like another question from the chat. Will Trauma, like from Michael Noel, will Trauma have a new mix Bandcamp release? I actually thought a lot about that song throughout the last years, and I think I can't say too much, but I would love to work on that again, because I wouldn't release it as it is right now. But I really am keen on working on this song and releasing it someday. I can't say when it will happen, but I'm pretty sure that I will work on this.
Sorry, people. Having an old dog is sometimes got to take care of a lot of things.
So then another question from Facebook. It's Tony David Garcia asking, Golden Dust is such a powerful, emotional, and heavy song in its own right. What events, situations, or circumstances brought about such simple yet incredibly moving lyrics, along with the melodic, majestic guitar, bass, drums guiding us, your listeners and fans, through a rare, fascinating journey? From your American fan. First of all, thanks a lot, Tony. Thanks a lot for those lines. I always I'm just baffled a lot of times reading what you folks write. It's so cool, so crazy to think where it all started and where it's what is happening now. To your question, I just remember from Golden Dust, it's been a while as well. Like I think Golden Dust, when did this song come about? I think we released The Circle in 2017, and I think the song was pretty late to be finished. It almost didn't end up on the album, but I'm really happy it did because I started this actually on the computer of like our guitar player Max, who owned the studio at that time, and I always went there to compose, and sometimes I just stayed there overnight and just dove into that calm feeling there. No one's around. Like the studio has a soundproof windows and everything, so you can be really loud in there. And I just got kind of relaxed there and could just leave everything behind and just record throughout the night. Sometimes I came after work, got there, recorded, and went. Like just stayed up all night and just went to work at like, I don't know, 7. Like started to go with the bus at 7 o'clock in the morning and didn't sleep at all, just because inspiration was there. So I was there and was near to the woods as well, and I started this first riff of Golden Dust, like the very beginning before the drums start. That was written in one session, and then the song was lying around for, I don't know, half a year or something, or even more. And at some point I got back to that computer and I found that intro of the song, and I just went on writing, and I think I finished the song in this whole session. And I even was so inspired that I just grabbed the microphone and the lyrics just came out of nowhere in this session. Throughout the night, I also recorded the whole night again. Didn't sleep much. I'm a person with a lot of sleep deprivation because of creativity. But yeah, and I can't even say where it came from. I think it just happened. Those lyrics just happened. They don't have a special. I don't know the word right now. Special spot where they're coming from. They're just coming from here. That's all I can say about the lyrics, I think. And I think, of course, Golden Dust refers to the sun, and my kind of special connection to the sun. That was also part of what the concept of the circle is about. Yeah, I think that's all I can say about that. Do you want to add something? I don't know.
Nothing to add.
Okay. Then it would be cool if you could also see those comments, because you could look for the comments as well, but it's not possible here. Then we have a question from the chat, which is favorite records of the year, inspirations for the new material. Would like to see you guys in Sweden, from Sven Morgson. Do you have any?
I want to see myself in Sweden as well. I really like Sweden. Got my buddy Matthias in Gothenburg, having a death metal project with him, and I really wanted to go back there. But with a band, it's always a bit difficult to go all the way up there without having a longer tour, because it is kind of expensive with lots of ferries and stuff that you need to take. But we got some contacts to promoters in Sweden and also in Finland. So we really want to come back to Sweden. I think that's all that I can say. Loved it then. I will try to get us booked there. Hopefully next year or so. Let's see what you guys have to keep in mind is that we are all having full-time jobs next to that band, so it's not so easy for us to be able to tour whenever we want. It's always there are different regulations. Also, there is only a amount of days that we can take off for being on tour. So that's why it's not so easy for us to have a 4-week tour every year. It's just also a matter of having a balance between the personal life, the job life, and having that band. But yeah, Sweden rocks. I wanna go back there.
Yeah. Favorite records of the year. Let me think about that. I have to say, I have to admit, I'm not following too much. I think I can't really give you anything right now because I'm kind of listening to the same stuff all over and over again, and sometimes I get to know like a small new band or something, but I can't give you a good answer on that right now. I think inspirations for the new material, life, life as it happens, and I think you always hear that on records. Like sometimes you can even hear if a person maybe was in a better situation in life for this record or in a worse situation. Like for me, it's sometimes I can only say that I tend to be even more creative when I'm not feeling that well. Which is of course something not a good thing because I don't want to be in a shitty mood all of the time to be able to write a lot. But yeah, I think like inspirations I draw from is like just like also encounters with certain people and certain yeah, talks that you have with people that like maybe change the perspective on some things for you, and then you kind of incorporate that in your music as well. And yeah, but in general, just life. Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah.
I found out how to see the comments here, but with my iPad I can only switch around. But I just got to see that Marcus talked about Tiger Lou and asked me if I know Elliot from the US. I know that band, but I don't really. I got to listen to it again. But yeah, we'll definitely do it. But as you mentioned, like emo core or something, I would say listen to the Be Well album. That's fantastic. The EP is not really good or not so good, but the album is really, really good. So I think, but it's easier, Dave, if you continue to read the comments because I have to switch around here and
we're the tech, the tech.
yes.
We yeah.
I mean, I'm a drummer, so obviously I do boom chuck, and all that technique stuff is not my cup of tea.
Let's go back to the Facebook questions. We have a question from Federico Galizzo. He's asking any plans for a date in Italy. Same as for all of the other questions concerning concerts in certain countries or cities. We would love to ask your local promoter to get us. Just gather Heretoir fans that are in your country or whatever, get together and just bomb them with requests for us. That's like the only thing that really helps, because when the promoters look at how active has this band been, how many albums has this band put out in the last whatever year or whatever, are they relevant, and just helps if you guys tell them, yeah, we want to see them.
It's easier for bands like us to be booked on a festival or something, especially when it's a bit further away, and not. I mean, Italy is not a country that most tours just like naturally from a German starting perspective go through. So it often you have to fly in if you only have the one show. It's so sometimes if there are any festivals that that could be interested in us, try to contact them. It's I think there might be a chance that we could be booked, but I mean we definitely want to go back to or like go back. I mean, me personally, because I played a few shows in Spain and France and Italy. We really want to go back or go there with Heretoir, but as we already said, it's not so easy for us to, because of the time that we have for the band. But it's also, as Dave said, it's a matter of interest in the band, and yeah, that has something to do with people telling promoters, hey, there's this band, check them out, book them, we want to see them. Yeah, that helps a lot.
Yeah. Then let's go for another question in the chat. We had this already. Let me see. Abdias is asking, how can you carry out a personal black metal project as Heretoir was at the time? I think he's talking about, like, am I right, talking about how you can manage everything on your own? That's how I get the question. I'm not sure. I mean, obviously, for example, I'm not a drummer. as Nils said, I am used to program a lot and work with certain beats, with certain how do you call those? I don't know the name right now, but certain patterns, yeah, and yeah, and like everything else, I think playing bass and guitar, yeah, it's kind of obvious, and the vocals as well, I think so. Of course, it was easy to record albums or record material like that, but of course, when it came to establishing a live band, that was problematic, apparently, as just one person. And I'm really glad that happened. That the decision was made to bring this on the stage, to have Matthias in the band, to get Max into the band, and Nils, yeah, and Kevin, of course. I think we can also jump into a question that was on social media concerning Kevin. I just have to see where it is.
I think it was from the live session videos. Who's that third guitar player?
Yeah, exactly. He's asking. Julian Wibbeler is asking. He's asking himself from the studio videos from Golden Dust, who's the new guitar player, since when is he in the band and why, and how did he miss all of this?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, you did miss that because we didn't play many shows until now that we're playing a few more shows this year. So we met Kevin back in 2017 on the tour that we did with Kalmar, Northgard, and Lost in Grey. And he was on that tour as kind of a roadie, but got to be the guitar player for Kalmar, and he learned all that stuff in like 2 days or 1.5
Crazy.
days. Insanely talented guitar player, super nice person, and over the tour we connected and became very, very good friends. And already on that tour we were like, let's ask him one day if he could join the band, because Heretoir has so many guitar layers, and we use a sampler live to let a few of those like choirs and some of the more like guitars that sound a bit more like synthesizers or so. The atmosphere sometimes comes from the sampler, but we always wanted to have a third guitar player in the band and reduce the guitars that come from the sampler. So I think we talked about that early, but I mean maybe in 2019 or so. But then the pandemic hit. Yeah, I mean he is a part of the band for quite some time now. I think we introduced him on social media.
We did a post on it. Yeah, we did a post on it. I think, of course, not all of the people that follow us might just see that right in time when it's there.
Yeah.
But yeah, for everyone that hasn't gotten it yet, we have a third guitar player called Kevin Storm. He's from the Netherlands. He's a great guy. He's a great musician.
Yeah, has a great solo project called Fleet Burner. You should definitely check it out. It's really, really good.
Yeah. And he brings also some really cool fresh air into this band and a lot of experience.
Yeah. Very reliable, very good guitar player. Also, he's always looking for for bands that he could join as a session guitar player. Yeah. I just want to jump back to how you carry out a black metal project. One thing that could make it easier these days is if you have songs, but you are not a drummer and you're not able to play drums, or you don't feel that you can program drums properly. I think you could check out Fiverr, this page where you can. There are sometimes people who do. I mean, it's kind of a job platform, but there are people who would play you, I don't know, for a few bucks. They will play you, I don't know, 5 minutes of blast beat or whatever you need. So yeah, check that out. So you might get multi-track drum recordings for maybe a good amount of money, like cheap. I don't know.
Yeah. Then we have another question from Facebook. It's from Nils C. What were you mostly up to between Heretoir, self-titled, and The Circle? During that time, I didn't know if you were active or if we'd ever see you again. I'm curious what you were working on, if anything, or if you stepped away, what caused the return. Like I think I already kind of answered some of that question before, but I think it was all of our life situations. Like Nils said, we all have our daily jobs and things that change in our lives, that where you have other circumstances where you have to focus on different things for a while, like a lot of we're studying and working at the same time and doing other stuff on top, and it's hard to just keep on pushing through those songwriting phases, so that's why it took a while. And like I also mentioned before, I'm a very perfectionist person when it comes to releasing music. I want to release music that I'm 100% satisfied with. And in that case, it took a very long time for The Circle to be finished. And all of the change that came with it, like becoming a full band and performing live, that all contributed to that long period of working on the songs. Yeah. Okay, I was waiting. You're adding something. I think it's hard for you to go first to.
I was not in that band, but I mean, also the time after The Circle to now. I mean, we had like nearly 3 years of pandemic in it, but yeah, I think this band has phases where the things that are also important next to the band are just getting bigger and bigger, and sometimes the band has to step down a bit, and then it might seem that the band is inactive, but I mean the band like always played shows. There was not a year where the band didn't really play any show, right? I mean, even between 11 and 17, you guys were playing a few tours and shows here and then. Also after that, I mean, 2017 was a pretty wild year. We played lots of shows, and then it went down a bit. But I mean, in the normal music business, usually bands release every 2 years an album, sometimes even every year. So of course, having such a long period of not releasing an album is, from a business perspective, it's not like pretty good. But for us, and I'm pretty glad that Dave is such a perfectionist, because so the songs that we release are worth to be released. And as I'm a super, like, I'm addicted to music and I'm such a nerd, I spend way too much money on buying new albums. But also so much crap gets released. And on some albums where I really think, oh, maybe just throw away half of the album and get another year of working, and then we have a really good album. So to me, it's pretty satisfying at the moment that there is stuff that will be released, and that I can promise. And I know this is pretty wild to do this on the internet, promise something. But, I know that even after the album that will come out sooner or later, sooner, not later, we worked on some stuff. So you guys or everyone doesn't have to wait for 6 years or so again. I mean, maybe in the future we will have phases with the band where other things in life are again more important than the band is now. But for the next years, I'm pretty sure that there's material, and the band will give all of you music to listen to.
There's a lot coming your way. So don't, because I saw some people concerning Wastelands, where people were afraid that there were the re-recordings and there were only 3 new songs. But like I said, there, like we said before, there's more coming. So you're not going to be waiting forever for new material on top of Wastelands.
Yeah, I think we all really wanted to send a sign of life before the album comes, and we had those 3 songs that we put on Wastelands, and we also had those live songs that we really wanted to release on a physical format, and the 3 tracks that are on Wastelands are connected to each other. So I can understand from a fan's perspective that you waited so long and then you only get 3 new songs. But first of all, the release is it is because those songs belong together, and secondly, there is more coming.
Yeah. We just got a comment here from, okay, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce this, I think Kloveci Verdelus, and he's saying if we're gonna go through all the questions, because there's like 30 plus of them, and it really hopes we go through all the questions. So maybe we speed it up a bit and try to keep our answers a bit shorter and just see that we can answer all of your questions. Let me see. So, okay, there's a question on Facebook. I can do this pretty fast. Where was the best food backstage from Lisa Magnolia Hohenstein?
My buddy in Leipzig, Konstantin, he's a chef, and we played a few shows, not with Heretoir, I think it was with Trinkend, but he did the most insane catering ever. But also Feuerwerk in Munich always has such a great food. And Hafenklang in Hamburg is also always pretty cool when it comes to food.
I just remember from Stuttgart, how is it called? What was the club called? I don't remember the name right now. Shame on me. Do you know, like Stuttgart? It's Club Central, exactly. Oh, yeah. And the catering there was always super good. Like,
nice.
Yeah. Then let's take another question from the chat.
Yes.
I have to go all the way up. Sorry for us having to scroll through all of this. Because some are just comments and some are questions. Okay, we had this question already, so I'm just gonna skip this because it was about our favorite bands. We had that already. Any future collaborations? We love to collaborate with good friends and great musicians in general. I think we can't say anything right now about that. We can say that we did collaborate for some of the new material. those are some pretty good collaborations. And yeah, in general, of course, if it fits, if the musical vision and everything goes well together, we'll never stop collaborating with artists that we admire or feel like wanting to work with.
Yeah, I like the idea of guest spots if it's I mean mostly it's like vocals, but I like it on the new Catatonia album. There's the singer from Soen doing such a good part, and it really works there very well. So yeah, I really like that. Let's see what the future will bring, but we're definitely up to collaborate with different people.
Yeah. Then I just go to the next chat question. It's from Damien Sagala. He's asking, hi, where can I buy a signed vinyl? Love the songs of the next EP. Cheers from Paris. I think, yeah, just write us a message. You see the message. You see our mail on our Facebook page. Should be there. And just write to us and we can arrange that we get a signed vinyl from us. Then I just go through the chat right now because, yeah, people are waiting here. Do you plan to come to the UK? Would love to see Heretoir live, from Luke Mosley. UK is we would love to as well. I think it's a special thing right now, also with the changes of the regulations and everything, which made everything a pain in the ass for a lot of bands. But I don't think that will hinder us from coming at some point. I don't know when. It's hard to say. Yeah. Then let's get another question from Facebook. We have another question concerning collaboration. We answered that. Johnny Sandes, when will you come to Norway? Same thing. I can only repeat myself.
Yeah.
I
think we can generally say that we really want to play everywhere we can. Here's also Valo DS, greetings from Mexico. Greetings back. Nice to see you.
See you next spring.
We hope to see you soon in Mexico. Yeah, there's something planned. So yeah.
Okay, so you're here. Okay, sorry, I got it wrong before because I said a question that was posted on Instagram concerning the racial backgrounds. That was from another person here. It was from Alberto Daniel Inostroza. I also already answered that. I think you can watch the stream after it's finished, so you can also see that question answered. Then we have a question from Person Leadsalt. I'm very shitty right now at pronouncing stuff. Where can we find stuffs of your other projects, by the way? What happened to Agrippni, Wintersturm, Fetus Christ? Is Catalyst a still active band? Sources show you were part of those projects. Were you in them, or is it an error? Thank you so much, very much in advance for your creations and for everything. Thank you for that comment. Thanks a lot. Yeah, the other projects, I was part of Agrippni for, I don't know, I think for 9 years, like a really long time. And it was a great time. And I just had to finish because there was so much going on in my life and so much in all of the time that was needed in Heratoire. And Wintersturm, that was like actually the first black metal band that I started with a friend at school. I was pretty young then, and it was just the first attempt of doing music in that style. And Fetus Christ, I think that's funny that it's listed there because I was like part of this band for like, I don't know, 2 weeks or something like that. It was like basically yes. I didn't even do anything in this band. I think it was just like rehearsing with them, and we were planning a show that never happened then. And I think there were a couple of members going in and out of this band. It was like a death metal band. And never happened.
Also listed in bands on Metal Archives that I never released anything that I never really has been in. But yeah,
Once you're seen at a rehearsal or something, yeah, you're in.
Yeah.
But I actually was part of it for a couple of weeks, yeah. And Catalyst is actually a still active thing. I just wanted to do this as to just kind of separate it, because it's way more modern. It's way more, yeah, it's super modern music. I'll have something coming from that as well. Just stay tuned for that. I have an own page for that, so I'll keep you posted about Catalyst as well.
I can maybe continue. Did we have that by Alexandre Richard?
I love your French pronunciation.
Yes, I have French. I don't know if this is French. Alexandre Richard. Hi, first of all, thank you for your music. It changes life. I have a bit of a complicated question. Your music is full of feelings. It shatters souls and minds alike. However, sometimes the emotions it evokes in the listener isn't the same as the one you did put in the music, or the feels you had in mind or felt as you created it. How do you feel about that? Does an artist prefer when they share and express their own emotions, or when the listener builds their own? I think, to me personally, it is more a thing when I was a singer and I wrote lyrics, that I wanted to express something, but to me it isn't really important if the exact feeling that I have when I sing a song or when I wrote a lyric, that people get that. To me, it is I want to play music or write music that does something good, that helps people, or just, I mean, it doesn't really have to be helping people, just give people a good feeling, a good time. I want our shows to be a place where people are welcome and where people can be free to be emotional, to have their emotions. So I would say the latter, like, or when the listener builds their own. To me, it is definitely that. It's I never know when I listen to music if the band wanted me to feel this or that way. So yeah, I would definitely go with that.
Yeah, same for me. I think I also there. I again have to thank all of you, and I'm just not speaking to all of you that are here now. I think I want to thank all of our fans, because like the messages, the comments, people we meet at our shows, what they tell us is crazy, because there are sometimes people letting us know that they've gone through a very hard time, that they were close to leaving this world, and that the music helped them. And this is like a thing that is like, you can't compare it to anything. It's like it's crazy, and it's a beautiful thing if this music can help, and if it can evoke feelings that help them to go through shitty times. And yeah, like Nils said, I can also say that I want the thing that I want to reach with this music is to help people, to give people the feeling, to take their hand, and they can make them feel understood in their struggles, and or in their good feelings as well.
Yeah. So another question that came up over on YouTube is by Vaxmal. They ask, other bands you don't listen to anymore because of their political attitude? I would say I have a pretty strict or like I have a pretty clear view on the world, what I want or what I think the world should be like. And to me, the world shouldn't be a place where racism or sexism or homophobia or something of that nature is accepted. And so if I see that a band that I like supports some of those attitudes, then I will stop listening to that band. I'm yeah, I mean, there sometimes it's a pretty difficult situation on some bands, but if it's like really really clear that it is a pretty racist band, then I mean, then I can't like them, because to me this is, I mean, there's just, I mean, racism is such a complete crappy view on the world. It's such a, yeah, I mean, I'm a bit lost for words to say this, but yeah, I mean, I'm pretty clear on that.
Yeah. Same for me. I mean, apparently I have a certain background as well, but it's like that's not the point. But I don't know. Like, I think there's such just too much space for all of this shit. You know, there's just people don't give a shit if people say really shitty things when it comes yeah, to racism, and I think there's just too much tolerance for that. And I mean, I didn't like stop listening to any band. I didn't even start listening to bands that kind.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's all I have to say about it. I think on the other
Yeah.
points, I can just agree with what you said.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Dark Easter was so nice. Dark reads from Switzerland. Love you guys very much. Thank
Thank
you
you
very
so much.
We really want to come back to Switzerland. We had a pretty cool show
Yeah,
there in
that was cool.
January.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joao asks about a new full length. We already had that question. And yeah, we are also waiting for playing in Flammen.
Yes, it's gonna be great.
So this is maybe by Markus Nietzsche. This is interesting. Had you more offers from labels before you sign your new deal? And what do you think about it? That the most big labels like Nuclear Blast and Century Media are hated in the real underground. So first of all, we are with AOP now, and
We're super happy.
I can tell you we're super happy. I work with several labels, usually smaller underground labels. But being with AOP is seriously the best thing that could happen to that band. I don't hate the bigger labels. I totally understand when bands move to a bigger label, when bands think that bigger labels might help them to become a bigger band or so. The thing that I know is, or that I learned over the years, is that it's usually better to have a smaller, very dedicated label than being just one band on a very big and pretty cool roster with like all the great names. But if you're not the great name, then pretty often the first album that you do on that bigger label might get some attention, but if it doesn't have that much of income for the label, the interest in the band will go down pretty quickly, and then you might be stuck, because usually those labels don't have contracts that only go over one album. Usually you have 3 to 5 albums, and then sometimes you be in a contract for years. To be honest, I don't really care if the real underground hates something. I know that I'm a part of the metal underground with my bands. I like to be there, but I mean, I think the whole underground, or like not underground, I don't care too much about that. If, as I said, if a band goes that direction, try out if you think it's the right thing for you to do.
I mean,
But I'm super happy that we're with AOP.
Yeah. Me as well. I mean, I can just give an example there, because people freaked out when Alcest announced that they were going with Nuclear Blast, and of course I don't know what will come as the next release, but what they put out, like, it was nothing like they were suddenly whatever changed all over and did totally different music or whatever. Like, nothing like that happened. Let's see what they put out next. But in general, as Neil said. Of course, you're gonna be the small name on the big roster, and also, yeah, you have those contracts that put you in, like, I don't know how many albums if everything goes well, and you're kind of also bound to release in a certain rhythm that is way faster than what we do. And I want to have the freedom to work on something and not to have the record label in my back and say, oh, you got to release it now, or we drop you, like, of course I don't want to have another 6 years like we said before, but I want to have some artistic freedom to do what I want to do. And this is just perfect with AOP. And I just love to AOP.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm not sure if we got all the questions. There is one more that I just found. Why do you think black and death metal has so many good solo acts or groups that started as solo projects? I don't really know, but maybe because it's Daniel.
Nice. Yeah.
Hey Daniel, was good meeting you. As I said, check out Outlaw. It's such a good album. I think it's such an extreme music that, first of all, not so many people are attracted and driven to. From a drummer's perspective, it's just pretty difficult to find drummers. I mean, there are so many bands that are looking for drummers. Can you play blast beat and double bass? And I mean, when I think about where I grew up, I think there were only like 1 or 2 people who were into that kind of music. And maybe it's that. Maybe it's also because it's especially when it comes to the more emotional black metal thing, it's something that is created when you're alone. Maybe that kind of answered or is able to answer the question.
Yeah, I'll leave that as you said it as well. Then let me see. I think
we
got
right?
pretty much of those. And there's a question from Fabrizio Teves. Hi guys, when do you announce the dates for Latin America? We're working on that. I think you won't have to wait that much long anymore. We're still gathering dates, gathering locations for the tour, and we are also anxious to reveal some like what we're gonna tour in South America. Yeah. Then let's go to Facebook again for the questions.
Oh yeah, here's one. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
That's like a question when you're like,
change your style, for example. I mean, we had this beginning, but I can just do it quickly again. We had kind of a similar question in the beginning. I think the band just at the moment gets like the best of both worlds. If we say like the first album and The Circle, we never went away from the black metal roots where the band came from or comes from, and the more post-rockish, post-metalish, more modern approach. And so I think the band will try to write as many songs as possible within the next years. I'm pretty sure that we will still release music in 5 years, that we will still play live as much as possible, and hopefully we we released music that all of you really like. I mean, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, second that. And also, because you said, do you think you can still change your style? Like I said before, repeating here, we're not a band that can be put in any box. I never want us to be expectable, like our music to be expectable. Okay, that's what's going to come next. I don't want that to happen. Yeah, that's pretty much like all I can say. Is you could pretty much expect everything from us, maybe except for traditional German Schlager. I think we can we can exclude that.
Yes, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So Baal Rimon, I hope I pronounced it the way you want it to be pronounced. Keep it up, is Syrian fan. Keep it up as well.
So cool to have you here.
Yeah, from Hamburg to Syria. Hi.
I think we have a couple of questions from Facebook left, but we can go through that pretty well. Yes. I think. Yeah, a question from Timo P from Facebook. I'm going to say it in German. Why a mini album instead of bonus tracks or part of the upcoming album? I think we kind of answered that as well, but maybe we can just quickly answer it again.
I mean, as I already said, that the 3 tracks on Wastelands are connected to each other, and I think when it's released and you go through the 3 tracks, I think you will, or I hope that you will notice what we thought about that, because there is a connection between the songs. Exactly. Also, what I can say is that those 3 tracks, if you would put them on the next album that will come, it wouldn't work well together, because those 3 tracks belong together, and what will come next belongs together. So I mean, sometimes, or I can understand, as I already said, that you all waited so long, and then we only release three tracks. But yeah, stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Such a 90s thing to say. Yeah. There is more coming, and that's what we got to say. What we can say.
Then there's a question from Winter Chris, and I have to admit, first I thought it was a joke, but then I looked at the profile. He's asking, what about Himalayas, guys? I think we can all put this on any of those questions when coming to this country, like on the same thing. We try as good as we can. Himalayas is pretty special, but yeah, like I said, if you have promoters in your area, let them know. We want to come. We want to play as much as possible.
Yeah, we will if we can.
Yes. Then we have a question. We answered those. Tran Quang Duyet is asking, I want to see you guys collaborate once again with Neige. This was a special one it meant a lot to us to have him on the circle. But I also think that it's kind of special to have him on this track and not to repeat stuff again. It makes it less special, kind of, in my eyes. Then question of our sound technician. We leave that out. It's never gonna come out, Stefan, as an answer to your question. A question from Joe Kramuk. When will you come to Lille, France? It's not far. Same as we said before, we maybe just scroll back a few minutes. We're doing our best to get everywhere we can.
Yes.
Okay. Do we have some questions here?
Let's see.
Yeah, we have a couple of questions from Lisa Magnolia Hohenstein. Those are the last ones that we have here. I have to translate it first. if I explain to my band colleagues like the background of a song, or are there songs where I don't want to explain anything about the background? I don't know, because normally when I write something new and have some ideas in my head, I share those ideas at a pretty early point. I don't like go like I finish everything for a song and okay, that's it, and that's what I want to convey with it and deal with it. But it's more like in the phase of developing the song, I already share it with everyone and get their thoughts, and then Matti puts something in, some idea, and Nils gets some drum ideas in there. Like, yeah, it's always kind of a flowing process where I don't always say this is the direction we have to go with. Like, we just go with the flow.
Yeah, but I think we kind of went on being more open or discussing like the topics that we want to sing. I mean, if we take Wastelands, for example, I think the lyrics are from you, from me, and also partly from Kevin. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you see, there's way more collaboration within the band happening. When I go back to the question, I think about the King Apathy Trinken time. When I wrote my lyrics, I didn't really tell the guys what I was singing about, because either it was clear to them, or I thought if they want to know, just ask me. So
yeah, those questions of Lisa are a pretty good questions. So I maybe would go through those so we get the 2-hour mark and then we stop.
Yes,
so we have like 9
idea.
minutes left. So let's just go through those questions. Cool. If any one of you has any burning questions left that you really want to know, then put them out right now so we can still answer those.
Yes.
She also asks which song was the hardest for you to write and why. That's an interesting question. I think, actually looking back, I think it was The White. Even though the song is pretty short, it had kind of this first part of the song and this second part that comes after the break, and it was so hard to, like, I wrote the first part of the song super easy, and then it was lying around forever and I was thinking, how can we finish this song? Like, how we go after this break? What do we do? And actually, I started another track, and then Matti came and said, why don't we use this part of this track, this beginning part of the new track you started, to make a full picture of The White? And it worked perfectly. And sometimes that's the way stuff works, but it was a really hard one. Yeah.
Okay, there's someone saying there are more comments on Facebook, and they seem to be eager that we.
Oh, I'm not sorry. No. I see that there's more underneath.
So maybe we can go on one of those comments as well.
Yeah, of course.
So we don't.
Yes, now I see it. It didn't pop up before. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay, this is a long question. Maybe I have to read this through this pretty soon.
Yes.
Okay, he's Klovici Valdulus. I'm sorry if I'm spelling your name wrong. He's asking, dude, you have to share with us, what do you think of Melting Sun album? I've always wondered why the hell do all black guys just think of it, that majestic piece. Simply put, one of the best human albums ever, that I dare to say not even the Beatles have got to compose something like that. What do you think of it? And also of Souvenirs d'Outremont. Do you deem it the starting point of black gaze as such? And we know it's because we also got Amateur, but I find Alsace way much more known and feel Souvenirs the one that inspired this whole new generation wave of beautiful black gaze. We need your opinion on those 3 albums. Okay. Let me read through the whole question. Also, do you have something like The Zone as well, or something like that? What happened to Neige or Herbst? Feeling otherworldliness within so strong that you feel derealization or something like that. The Circle is a majestic piece as Melting Sun, by the way, man. Thanks a lot. Impressive that you can be up at their level of grandeur. Thank you. Please tell us a little bit about your inner experience you're passing through this world. Okay, that's a long question with a lot of points in it. Maybe we can kind of split this question. All right, there it is. Yeah, that's the perfect answer to this question.
Yeah, I think that answers the question.
Yeah. It's like all of those albums are super good. And as you say, Souvenirs d'un autre monde, for me, it's the starting point of the black race genre. Definitely, it changed something. Like you could see it, so many bands popping up, doing that kind of style, and being inspired by it, and being inspired by the freedom to fuse black metal with emotion and atmosphere and melody and shoegaze and whatever you want to call it. They definitely started a movement, you could say.
Yeah.
And Amateur, I listen to Amateur a lot. There are some, like, musically it's super good. I mean, yeah. Don't want to go into that deep dive. Do you have something like the zone? You mean that otherworldliness? I think for us it differs kind of than what Herbst and Neige have. I think the zone, when you're talking about the zone, it's rather when I think Matti could agree on that as well when he's composing something for Heretoir. Like when you're having a slight idea and you grab your guitar and you just sit down and you do that first melody, and then you develop more and you just add melodies on top, and it's coming to life, and sometimes I myself get goosebumps because I feel like, okay, that's like something I can go on with. And yeah, but like related to otherworldliness, yeah, I'm removed from this planet when I write music. Definitely, I want to have nothing around me. I want to be totally secluded. I want to have no one. I want to have the feeling that the world is stopped, like nothing's happening. That's why I love to compose at night when everything is silent, when everyone is asleep, because I feel that the tranquility of, just being able to compose and nothing distracts. Yeah. And I think that's all of the parts of the question I answered.
Yeah, I showed you the albums. Big Souvenir fan. Was a game changer for me back then when it came out. Friends of mine had it, and I think to me there's not one other album that has that same atmosphere. After that album, I went away from listening to Alcest. I heard a few albums, but it was like, to me, I think in 2007 or so it came out, right? Something like that, or 5 or so, I don't know. But it was a time where I started to navigate away from listening to black metal, and so I didn't really get into their later work so much, but I really dig the album that they did like 2 years ago or so. That's pretty good, and they played at Partisan last year. It was insanely good. But I also like, I think many people dislike the last Landlos album, Wildhund. I really like it. It's a weird album that has, with like Cocoon Treehouse, I think it's one of the best songs that he ever wrote. Also such a fantastic, friendly person.
Can I share something at this point? Because you were talking about him, like I have to say that Marcus is like very close to this band. He's always been kind of involved in a lot of stuff that maybe you guys don't even know about. And with Heretoir, I won't go into depth too much, but I can just say he's pretty involved as well. Like he did the cover art for Substance, and like the whole paintings that you see in this compilation are from him, and he did a shirt design for us. Like, he helped me out with some drums and stuff, like for drum ideas back at the very beginning. So he's kind of he's a cool dude doing great music.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we maybe don't have to stick too strictly because we would have to end in 7 seconds. But I think there was one question concerning the EP mini album Wastelands. If there's going to be something else coming, and I just won't tell you anything so far. You're going to see or not. You're going to just have a look at the page and yeah. What else do we have? I think we have those questions. Maybe, I'm sorry, Lisa, maybe we have to cut one of those questions. Lisa,
pick one of her last, and then
let me see. Yeah, she's asking, were there shows where you had the special feeling to have a very special connection to the audience? And if so, which show was it? And how do you notice that you're vibing with an audience? I think we had actually a couple of those shows. Like, I can't even name one special show. And you notice that mostly after playing the first song. Like, if you the resonance that comes from the audience, you even notice it throughout the first song. If people are moved, like sometimes I look somewhere, I have my eyes closed. Sometimes I look into the audience and I see the people and I see their reactions. And sometimes you already notice then if how the audience reacts to you and your music. If there are people that don't know your music and how they perceive it. Yeah, mostly after the first song, it's pretty. Sometimes it develops throughout a set. Sometimes you play a certain song or something, and then you see a totally different reaction. And sometimes people are just. There were shows where people were just dead, and maybe you couldn't convince it. But sometimes, for me, in a show, I just channel everything. I just let everything out, like all of the emotion that's stacked up inside. I just turn myself inside out, and sometimes I just scream this emotion at people, and it's wonderful to see that most of the times people are I don't know the word right now, caught by this and set aflame, so to say, and it's just wonderful to see. And we put everything in our performances, and just like I said, live through the emotions that we had. And maybe for you it's different than for me. Everyone goes through their own stuff when playing this, when performing this. But I just love performing live and screaming all of those emotions out.
Yeah, to me it's also difficult to name one specific show, but I mean, the last show that we did at Dark Easter Metal Meeting in Munich was really, really, really intense and was really cool, and had such a good vibe to it. We played Wastelands live. This was a really, really, really good show. But generally,
I think your image. Yeah, no, you were frozen for a second. Okay. Maybe we just answer one last question and then call it a day.
I don't know how much you're into shoegaze, Dave. I can't really. There was a question about underground shoegaze recommendations, or what bands you feel connected to. I gotta say, I totally am not into shoegaze. I have Ulcers is maybe the only band that I feel really connected to. It has never been so much my cup of tea. I'm more the traditional heavy metal fan.
Yeah, I think there's one band I used to listen to a lot. I haven't listened for a while, to be honest. It's called Foxtail Somersault. I don't really know too much about the band, where they're from, is something, but I really loved like how's the I don't even know how the record is called, because I used to listen to pretty single songs from that record, never the whole album as a whole experience. I can look it up. I'm just gonna look it up right now.
So I was more into
it's Fathom.
post-rock.
Yeah, sorry, the album is called Fathom, and yeah, it's from 2007, I think. Yeah, have a listen to it. It's really cool. It's really chill. Escalator, a really cool song. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I think there might be some questions we missed in between. We're sorry if we missed those. But yeah, I think it was really cool to answer. Thank you for all of those questions. Thank you for being here, for staying with us for 2 hours. We love you. Thank you. And I hope we'll see some of you at the shows that we're doing, like in the area of Germany. And as we said before, we are trying to get everywhere we can. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah. Don't have anything.
Also, give us feedback.
When
the new songs are coming out. It's super interesting to see what you feel listening to the new songs. And thank you all so much for the interest and time that you spent in not only like listening to us talking for 2 hours, but listening to our music. That's way more important. And thank you all so much for giving us your time. And
exactly. And stay tuned, because there's more to come.
Wag's mal Hamburg, 30.09. kommst du rum.
Exactly.
All right.
Just have a look at our recent posts. Okay.
Thank you all.
We don't even know.
Have a good night, or whatever time it is where you are. Have a good day, good night. Hope you're all fine, and take good care. Thank you all. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.